Hello, all you hardcores out there. Look who I've got here. Big Ron exclusive, live from Jersey. How are you doing, Ron?
Better for listening to you, big porky.
Where are you? Sat at home?
I've got a glass of vino. We've launched our restaurant today in Jersey for Sunday lunch, and I'm just drinking the remnants of everybody's leftovers.
Yeah?
Mm.
I bet that cost you a few quid, that lunch, Ron.
Not too bad, to be fair. There's some nice people out here, Russ, and it's a nice environment. But I'm back tomorrow, so I'm back to the land of the living. I love to come back to Sheffield and Yorkshire, and my aunts, because that's where I'm from and that's where I make things happen. But I love to come back here. My kids are fine here. They go to school here. It's a nice part of the world, but I love Sheffield.
Yeah, I know you do, mate. I know you do. All right, and you've been in boxing now over 3 decades and that, Dennis, right? Have you ever been offered any fighters and you've passed up on it and afterwards you thought, I've dropped a right clanger
Um,
there? People you could have signed.
yeah, I know what you're thinking. I'm trying to think. To be honest, I mean, there were years and years ago. Nazim Ahmed said to me my friend's he'd got a like a gym stroke. What would he called it? Well, it was called the Pine Grove, where Clinton made his debut.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'm trying to think of how your terminology. Anyway, we're in the bar, and he says, "Dennis, do you want to promote me?" I went, "No, you're too cheeky for me." Now, I don't know if I'd have ever been able to take him at that stage, to the heights that he ended up going to, but Nazim Ahmed more or less asked me if I wanted to promote him at that stage. Now, I don't know if I'd have enjoyed the journey because I think he were too high maintenance, Nazim Ahmed, but what a commodity. Would I have handled him better than what Warren did or Earns did or whoever, because I was from Sheffield? Would I have handled him better because he ended up self-destructing? I don't know, but that was probably a kid in his teenage years who asked me if I wanted to promote him. He said, I want to fight on one of your shows, Dennis, because I'd only just started promoting at that stage. And I don't know. I mean, Nazim Ahmed were arguably the best talent to come out of Sheffield, but ultimately self-destructed.
Yeah, where do you think you went wrong, Ron?
I think he got his family too involved. Russ putting it to the. I think he got his family too involved, and ultimately that's what happens in boxing. You get the family too involved who aren't necessarily business people, and all of a sudden come involved. They don't understand the industry, and sometimes make their own decision. They don't do it every time, but in a lot of the occasions, they ended up making the wrong decision, and it comes to more of a speedy end than what it could have done. You could have had a bit more longevity if it had been with people who's experienced.
Yeah, I remember his brother Rafe. He used to work at Do It All, didn't he?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with looking after your family, but you've got to look to what people are experiencing that field, and obviously they weren't, but all of a sudden become important. And sometimes they don't make the right decision because they're not experienced. And I think ultimately that's what happened. With Naz, he's made a lot of money outside boxing, but he's not very well thought of in Sheffield. He should have been a hero in Sheffield, but he isn't.
Yeah, he gets a bit of a rough ride up there, doesn't he, when he comes back, doesn't he?
He does, but self-inflicted in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever put anybody in a position in a job in your companies, Dennis, and they've not been an expert?
Plenty, Russ. Plenty.
All right.
That was a loaded question, wasn't it?
I'll set you up for that one, Ron, didn't I?
You know I've had a few regrets. I've had a few,
Had a few today,
but
Ron.
then again,
Bit.
not too few to mention. But listen, that's boxing, and the day I decide to step out of it, is that's the only way it'll be over, because ultimately over the 30 years I've created. I won't say everyone has been a monster, but it's that you help kids maneuver their way up there, and sometimes you don't do the honourable thing. You've seen it, Russ,
Yeah.
in recent history, but it's just one of them things. It's just people aren't honourable anymore. But all I can say is that, Jamie McDonald's, Clint Woods, and Stuart Halls, and I'm just naming three people there. I've helped them. I've changed their life, helped them change their life, and people go, "Oh, you've it's them what's fighting." Well, they'd be fine for Central area or Northern area or whatever sort of area title fights. Well, I've ended up getting them onto the world scene, earning a lot of money, but at least they're playing the trade for something a lot more meaningful and changed their lives. They've made history, and I've helped them make history. But sometimes they haven't done the honourable thing. But at least on my CV, I know what I've done to help get them there.
Yeah, I've heard Jamie McDonald's plastering.
Most of his life, he was plastered when he weren't training, because he loved a bevy, he loved whatever outside influences. But it's a shame because Jamie was a talent. Gavin rode on his back, and I saw Gavin the other week. But Gavin, I was supposed to manage him at one stage. Me and I wanted to manage him with Steffi Bull, but Steffi went on and took him on his own. And but I think Gavin, even though he achieved what he achieved, I think I could have done a bit better with him.
Yeah. I've heard Liam Cameron's on about making another run for it, Dennis, making a comeback.
Is Georgie Best still making a comeback?
No, he's passed away, George.
Right. I do believe, Bruce, that people like Liam's Mr. Bo, and they always want to be people who want to be victims and play the victim and blame somebody else. Liam had more than one opportunity to do it, and I've given him, I've worked with him more than one occasion. But for me, that ship sailed, and a talented kid, but liked a bit between the ears.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? But we wish him well if he comes back, don't we?
I do, and because I think he's got a good heart, Liam, but just likes a bit between the ears, and that's been a bit blunt.
Yeah. All right. The Kevin Marie situation, Dennis. The word is, this is the word on social media. You're going to serve papers on Sky and him on weighing for Massey Parker. That's the word doing rounds.
Who's tell you that, Russ?
I can't tell you who told me. Not on here.
Listen, you've known me long enough. Right's right, wrong's wrong.
Yeah.
That kid's wrong. And he can have his own little entourage who's sending threatening messages to you or whoever. Bring them on.
Yeah.
If right's right, we ain't got a problem. If wrong's wrong and that kid is wrong, he's a dishonourable man and he's done the wrong thing. So let's see what he's got coming to him legally. So, Kevin, all I'll say to you is get ready, pal, because I don't know where it's going to get to, but, I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to defend my investment, and let's see where we get to. You've done the wrong. I'm defending my investment. Kevin, you've never put your hand in your pocket once. I have. Me and Steve Crump has. I've manoeuvred, such as Jack Massey. I'm using him as an example. I've manoeuvred him into a commodity. Now he's getting rated at a heavyweight. You put him in with Joe. You're trying to put him in with Josie Parker. You know, without consulting me, you've made an offer to me. Just try and walk away. It's a joke. You think you're, in a Jewish term, you think you're three smart. Well, you're not. Let's see what happens. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. But I know what I'm doing. I'm defending my investment.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. It's a bit like Mick Hennessy, isn't it? Suing people he's sued, isn't it, in past, isn't it?
Yeah. And you know, you get your people like your Kev Maries and your Sam Kinnocks who just come along and give all the schmoozing and, hi Betty, I'm looking after your interest. But the main thing is that they're all they're after from fighters is a percentage. Never put their hand in the pocket once, like me, Steve, and whoever does, but want a percentage. They're not proper. They're just smoozers. And in any other industry, they wouldn't survive. In the scrap metal industry, they wouldn't survive. In any other industry that I've been involved with business, they wouldn't survive. They wouldn't earn a living. But because of boxing and being able to be good talkers, they manage to like win people over. But for the wrong reasons, all they're after is a percentage without investing a penny. So that tells me there's a word. And somebody said to me the other day, they're almost like pimps, aren't they, Dennis? And I said, well, I can't disagree with you, but you know, that's what somebody else said to me the other day. They're like pimps, you know, feeding off prostitutes, but I don't call a fighter a prostitute. But they are like a pimp. That's what somebody said to me the other day, and I went, I can't disagree with you.
In woodpeckers.
Woodpeckers.
Yeah.
What rhymes with woodpecker?
Anna Rankin, how's she doing, Dennis, while you're eating your Bombay mix?
How did you know what I was eating then?
It was either that or kettle crisps.
Bombay mix. So, Anna Rankin, you haven't been her biggest fan, Russell, by the way.
I know, yeah, I know. I've been critical of Anna Rankin. I think she could have done better in the spotlight. I think she froze in a few big fights.
Russell, you know you're not right about everything, don't you?
Yeah, I understand that, yeah. And maybe I'm wrong then.
Anna is a class act.
Yeah.
Inside and outside the ring. She's got plenty of ball. She's still learning. She was a white collar boxer who ended up winning a world title. What a story. She's still improving in the ring. Outside the ring, she's an ambassador. She does a lot for charity. She goes to South Africa. She's on her way to doing stuff in Brazil. And she does a lot in the UK for underprivileged kids. Now, by the by, you might say, yeah, but we're talking about professional boxing and being a world champion. Yeah. Well, she's been a world champion and she will come again because I'm going to help her come again. Yeah. She's got a great training, Noel, who's like going from strength to strength. You watch her come again. She lost to Terry Harper because she fell short. Terry Harper absolutely caused herself when she got caught with Hannah. But the thing was, Anna wasn't experienced enough and she got a terrible cut on her eye. She couldn't focus properly. And she would have took Terry Harper out if she'd have been able-bodied and she hadn't got certain demons in her mind because the last fight she had before that, she'd put a lady on life support, a girl from Mexico. So, she was playing with demons. So, moving forward, Anna, I promise you, I almost guarantee you she'll win another world title. Good.
Good luck to Anna Rankin. Terry's a big fan of hers. I've just had Terry on. He sends his best, Dennis.
Terry's a proper fella. Yeah. I almost like him as much as you.
All right. The White Rhino has been sparring Jack Massey. He's going to make a run for it. He wants a British title this year, Fabio Wardley.
He's a two-faced bastard sparring with Jack Massey, but he don't know what my situation with Jack Massey is. White Rhino is capable of upsetting a few people. The big fight for him would have been Derek Chisora. That'd have been a great fight. So Derek Chisora fighting Tyson Fury obviously were a mismatch. A right fight for Derek Chisora would have been Dave Allen, but obviously it were a payday for Derek.
Yeah.
A decent fight if Derek wants to keep fighting, Derek versus Dave Allen would be a cracking fight.
Would you put that on Fight Zone, Dennis?
Pardon?
Would you put that on Fight Zone?
I don't know if it's big enough for Fight Zone.
Oh, go on, Ron.
What are you chuckling at?
I'm just saying, Ron in full flow.
Running full flow. No, I think it's if we did it on Fight Zone, we'd do a little pay-per-view at a $5 or something like that and get 100,000 views or 200,000 views for it. Yeah, it'd be a cracking fight. We pay him well. But, you know, I think it could go on Sky, BT or DAZN, that kind of fight. But it's a cracking fight. Great domestic dust-up. I think it sells well at the O2 or at the MEN. And obviously a good undercard. I'd love to put that together.
Yeah. All right. Super Tommy Frank. What next for Tommy?
Yeah. He's fighting on March the 10th at the Yoko. Leighton's doing the show. We're doing it in association with him. He's fighting Jay Harris for the British flyweight title. Absolute great scrap. And he's a big fight at the end of that.
There's a big fight at the end of it for winner, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. All right. Keenan Wainwright. Big banger.
Keenan should have been on this February show in Sheffield, but he's just coming back from an injury. You watch, Keenan's going to win something this year, meaningful. It took us a late notice fight on a Warren Bill, lost on a 96-94 scorecard, put the kid down in the first round. He fought a weight category above himself. Keenan will come back and he'll win something. You watch this year, Keenan Wainwright, the Wolf, will win something major.
Yeah,
I'm saying meaningful, not major, meaningful.
I know he can punch because I know people who've told me who've sparred him, and I've seen him spar. It's hard, doesn't it?
It does. Russell, can I ask you a question?
Well,
Do you hit hard?
no.
If Steffi Bull was sat in front of you now, would you hit hard?
Yeah.
How hard? Would you put him to sleep?
I'd put him to kip.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
I put you to kip in Bulgaria.
You've never put me to sleep, Russell. I'd bite the fuck out of you.
I nearly choked you out, though. I let you off.
Russell, I'd bite the life out of you.
Dennis, I threw you on my shoulders and held you down.
Russell,
you
better get it on.
You bit me.
I know I bit you. I bit you. They were little love bites.
Well, fucking they weren't. How's Lynn Rhodes doing?
Who?
Lynn Rhodes.
Lynn's my friend now. He just wrote a book. It's like he's an icon of the local boxing, isn't he? He's my friend Glenn, character, and I like working with Glenn. He's great to have in your corner with you. He's shared corner work with me with Clinton Woods. I've worked with numerous fighters, and I love working with Glenn.
Yeah. How's Filky doing?
Filky's family to me and Sarah. Yeah. It's his babies. We love him. His wife, Becky, he runs our gym. He's like a Pied Piper. He's got boys and girls just following him all over. He's producing great amateurs. We're going to have a great amateur stable, and he's just a pleasure to work with. He's like family to us. Fuke. He's coming over to Jersey. He's going to get married soon. I don't know if I should have said that. That might be an exclusive. But anyway, shouldn't I have said that, Sarah? Nobody knows. Russ, nobody knows that Fuke is getting married to Becky this year. So don't send out on this podcast, will you? But anyway, they are beautiful people with Classman's family, and I love them to bits. And he's going to produce some champions. You watch.
Have you heard out from? Pal?
What?
Have you heard out from? Pal?
All right, pal. Only last time I saw Ross the boss when Sarah chinned him, when he went for a wobble. It was like a weeble. He bounced down, but he bounced back up. Listen, if Sarah were a flyweight, he would have never won the Commonwealth title because Sarah would have beat him.
Poor Ross. Well, number 8, Dennis, what you on about?
WBO number 8, but Sarah would have been number 2 because Sarah would have got up rankings quicker than him. Because Sarah beat Ross at my house.
No. Oh God, he's going to knock me out. He's told Scott Brunt.
No, you are.
Yeah,
he couldn't knock a light out. He couldn't knock a what they call it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I bet you're having sleepless nights about that, Russ, are you?
I'm feeling me nappy, Ron.
I bet you are, Russ. All right, Russ. All right, Russ. Are we all right now, pal?
Hey up, Dennis. Porky Ross. Hey up, Michelle. You okay?
I love you, know. I love Ross. I love Ross. He's all right. He's a pest, but he's all right. Hey, Russell.
Oh.
What do you think to my new haircut?
What we're going for now, Ron?
I've got it like down to number 1 on side and a little bit of a quiff on top.
Yeah, looking all right. Okay, looking so. You got a new jacket there, Ron?
New jacket. I've got to check it back tomorrow.
Yeah. Why not happy with it?
No, it means I've gone out for today.
No, what you normally do, Dennis, you throw them in a room with about 500 others piled up.
I do know.
You know, you only wear them about 3 times. You need to get an ironer in, Dennis, or a dry cleaner.
What's the time? I need to get an ironer or a dry cleaner inside for my jackets. It's just because I only wear them once. So that's what he said. I've got that many. I wear them more than once, Russ.
All right. How's Fight Zone, Dennis? Is it in good shape this year?
This year, Fight Zone's changing a little bit, but we're fine, Russ.
Yeah. All right.
You're gonna like Fight Zone, and I want you to come into the what's the word? Into the mix a little bit.
Into the mix. You know I'm not cheap now, Ron, don't you?
Can I afford you, Russ?
We'll have to come to some sort of agreement.
Yeah, but the problem is, Russ, you know when you start slagging everybody, that's got to curb it when that with me. Because I don't like you slagging. I don't mind you slagging certain people, but certain people I don't like it.
Oh well, I like to be myself.
I know you do. That's your problem.
Ticket deal if I come back, Dennis.
Now you're taking piss out of me with ticket deals. Do you know what it's like to promote Mr. Hartley?
No, I don't. It's hard work.
Have you ever? Thank you. Have you ever promoted a boxing event?
No, I haven't. No.
Now, the only people who are promoting now is if they've got some rich benefactor who's throwing money at them, or they've got some massive ticket seller who's helping them sell the show.
Mm.
Now, the only other way they can make that work is if somebody like Dennis decides to put his hand in his pocket alongside Steve Crump, who gets kids title opportunities.
Yeah.
That's the only way small old boxing works.
Yeah. What do you think to Andy Ruiz against Wilder fight for the right to fight Tyson?
I like it,
Good
but
fight.
I'd like to see Deontay fight AJ
Yeah.
because I think AJ's running scared.
Yeah.
I think AJ against Wilder's a cracking fight. Does massive pay-per-view, and I think Ruiz is a cop-out for AJ. I think AJ should be fighting. You can't go back and fight or rebuild. Now, unless he steps out of the limelight, AJ, and says, right, I'm having 12 months out of it again. I'm going to reinvent myself. That's fair enough. But if he wants to still stay, I'm a contender and tell everybody, oh, I'm interested in that fight. No, step out of the arena. Step out of the mix.
Yeah.
And let everybody else
Let the
fight
landscape
each other.
change for a year or something. That's what Yui's done, isn't he? They've stepped him out.
Well, that's what I do with you, and Peter's not daft. Now, I said to you, didn't I? If AJ's serious, I'd have somebody like Peter Fury training me. Yui is starting to come back and build his profile up again.
Yeah.
Tyson won't be around here for forever. Now, another 2 or 3 years, Yui is still a young man. Maybe he's been around the block, got the experience, and go, right, I'm experienced, I'm big enough, I'm strong enough. Right, my time now. Maybe the time wasn't right for you, but in another 2 or 3 years, it is. So you is not in no rush.
Yeah. What do you think about Joshua only having 6 fights in the last 5 years, Dennis? It's not active, that is it?
He's just milking it. He's got sponsors. He's a commodity. He's a David Beckham of boxing. So, you know, it's just like, would you do the same as this promoter?
Probably.
Would you milk it? Maybe you would. But there's been an agenda. But us as purists, we're wanting to fight proper people. Before Usyk, I wouldn't have done that again. I wouldn't have done that again. I'd have waited because I thought exactly like you did, the same thing was going to happen. And it did.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you see Tyson and Usyk happening at, Dennis? Saudi?
I think Usyk is a different commodity. He's a purist. He's a fantastic specimen. Great technician. But Tyson takes that out of the window because he's so big and strong. And he'll nullify, it might be ugly. But I think at some stage he'll get to Usyk and just bludgeon him towards from the last 3-4 rounds.
Yeah.
And I think he'll get to Usyk. That's the thing. What I think will happen. I don't think it'll be pretty, but I want to see Tyson versus AJ. I'm a UK. I'm a Brit. I want to see you Tyson versus AJ. Forget about everybody else. Tyson versus AJ.
In Britain as well. We want to see it in Britain as well, don't we?
Of course we do. Going to Saudi Arabia just because they're getting 50 million apiece. Well, forget about that. Get 10 or 20 million quid apiece and then go and fight in MEN or OSU. Get a pay-per-view and you might get 20 or 30 million apiece because you might do 2 or 3 million hits.
Yeah.
Do it in the UK.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you see?
I can live on 10 or 20 million, can't you, Russ?
No, I can't. You can't, Dennis. You go through money like wildfire.
You said I might be able to, not be able to, but I'm sure you can.
Uh, Dennis, where do you see the board now with the credibility after this Conor Ben thing? Because it's in tatters, and there's Jeff Hines, Ian John Lewis are suing them. There's others suing them. They're under Kosh board at the moment, aren't they?
Who's suing him, Russ? Who's suing him? That's interesting. Who's suing him?
Jeff Hines and Ian John Lewis. That's two. There's another one whose name I've got wrote down somewhere.
They're suing the board.
Yeah, Jeff Hines and
Why?
Ian John Lewis.
Why?
Yeah, I think Ian John Lewis is a bit sore being made a scapegoat, and Jeff Hines he's done. Is it up over 1,600 fights, and he's never had a chance to be an A star, and there's some beef or something, I don't know, but it's going all the way anyway. Oh. What do you think about the Conor Ben situation? Do you think somebody from board will step down, or somebody will come out and admit that they knew that what had gone on, but they were going to turn a blind eye? What do you think is going to happen? Or will they
I
just
think what happens is with the board is that they bury their head, Russ, and hopefully, because the way I've got my issues with the board at the moment on another matter, and it's not. It's a tough position that they're in. The people's coming at them from different angles, and all I ask from the board is that they stay consistent, but they're not.
Yeah.
And that's what I have my gripe with. I don't envy their position with this Conor Ben situation. I don't think they've covered themselves in glory. And all I ask from them is to be consistent, either consistently bad or consistently good. But they're neither. I still believe that the Boxing Board of Control are the best in the world, but that doesn't mean to say that they're perfect. And they've just proved again with this Conor Ben situation that they're not perfect.
Yeah.
I think they've still got a lot to learn. I think they've got to be open-minded and like hold their hand up and say, look, we got that one wrong. Right, how can we find a solution for this problem? Right, we've got a problem. We didn't deal with this right in the first instance. We found out some evidence on this and the other. Right, this is how we deal with it. You've done wrong. We've got to penalise. Right, we'll penalise, but we've got to look at the past and the history of how we've dealt with things. Right, Dillian White. We've got Kid Galahad. We've got other fighters. Right, we've banned them for so long. Right, how are we going to deal with Conor Ben? Sit down with Conor Ben and say, right, put your hand up. Stop trying to kid to us. Stop trying to lie to the public. What have you done? What happened? Why are you in the situation that you are? And now we've got to penalise you for what crime, if you like, if you want to put it that way, that you've committed. But if you start to try and flannel us, the end of the day, you've been found with a substance in your body. I don't want to know how it's got there. You've had it with Liam Cameron on a lot smaller basis. He got banned for 2 or 3. How long did Liam get banned for, Russ?
4 year. 4 year ban. Connor's got two charges.
That's a long time.
Connor's got 2 charges, so it could be 8 year, couldn't it? If he gets found guilty maximum, they can give 8 year.
Yeah, but I think that's wrong. I think if they've done something wrong, until they get found out, if it's the first offence, it should be 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And say, right, where are we? You've done this wrong, you've done that wrong, you're on 2 years. Right, do it again, you get signed out, you're on 8 to 9 years. That's the end of the career.
Yeah.
2 years should be maximum for your first offence.
Yeah.
But if you're not putting your hand up, you deserve to get almost a lifetime ban.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay then. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. I hope you're well. Have a great evening. Good luck with your restaurant opening. Did you have out nice to eat today, Dennis?
I've had a bit of beautiful roast lamb tonight.
Yeah.
In the beautiful island of Jersey. And I like it out here, but I'm back tomorrow, Russ.
Yeah.
I'm back tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll speak this week. But boxing's in the transitional period, Russ. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. Okie dokie then. Well, listen, you take care. Have a great evening, and I'll speak to you this week, Ron.
All right. Love to you and your
Take care.
family.
Bye bye.
God bless.
Bye. Bye. Peace out.